strength in the general fund, which anytime you were to go borrow money, somebody somewhere who's issuing the debt is looking at that percentage. Then you see revenues over and under expenditures before transfers and contributions. The general fund had a positive 8.2 million. The American ARPA money was 414,000. Law enforcement was a positive 1.4 million. Cultural and recreation grants funds a positive 9.2. The road improvements a positive 1.5. Debt services $3,000. Then the capital improvements plan projects had a minus 4.8. The public works grant fund was a minus $1,087,000.
Mr. Thompson, what?
Yes, sir.
If I could interrupt you briefly.
Yes, sir.
What was the negative for on the CIP projects?
I'd have to,
4.8?
I'd have to look, to be honest with you, and I may have to get back to get you the detail on that. If I
Maybe
can get back
Karis-
to you and give you details, I'd be
Right.
happy.
Maybe Karis or Angela could jump in there.
Because we anticipate, and you can see over the 5 years, because when you see under the transfers and contributions, we're anticipating there to be some losses, because for all 5 years, you see there is a loss. You're getting transfers in from either the general fund or other borrowings, projects, et cetera, that would reflect that capital projects, if not.
I'm sure I asked that question last, it's been a year and I cannot remember what was said.
You and I are probably in the same boat on that.
It kind of sticks out like.
So the capital project funds are more like from the CIP, which is left over. So we've still got some expenses that are left over. Revenues don't come in. So that number is really the revenues that were for 24 and the expenses that were for 24 netted together. And so it's showing a negative, but we already received the revenue years ago. So if you go down to the bottom, and actually it's on page, yeah.
Oh, at the very bottom.
If
Fund
you
balance.
look, the fund balance in that fund, well, even if you take out the 61 that we've got for the detention center that we just got this year, we still had like 10 million, almost $15 million of previous revenue that was used to pay that $4 million. Did that, did I say,
understand.
I just kind of
Yeah.
said that a roundabout way, but.
That's
did you
why I didn't
follow it?
remember it from last year.
Mr. Thompson, I had a question also going back to the fund balance and our fund balance is 65.52%. You know, and that's raised over the year, and we've talked about this before. Is that normal or is that high?
Well, with the growth rate that you're experiencing, I'm not sure if there's quote unquote normal. With the a lot of it might be coming from developments, et cetera, is causing taxes to increase at a significant rate. So at some point,
You talking about revenue income?
yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's going to result in the county over the long period of time having to provide additional services for those. And so I know to in your budget process to determine what the needs are for the county, whether you as a board would determine that that's significant or ample to provide the service. So answer. Curb the growth in it might be a challenge that y'all address at some point.
So in a rapid growth situation as we're hoping for, this number you think would be accessible?
I do. Yeah.
It just seems like it's conservative position is what I.
All right, so I'm having a bunch of technical difficulty here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the audio from that meeting, and we're gonna listen to the audio together. But you make sure to tune in tonight. Listen, we're gonna have some really good guest on tonight. Again, with all the talk going on about the federal freeze on these different programs, tonight we bringing some guests in from inside of from inside the DC political circuit. And so we're looking for some insight to pass on some legitimate information to people, because there's been a lot of misinformation has been spread about what is and what isn't happening. And so we'll deal with that tonight on a in-depth, comprehensive level. And hopefully these people we have on will help you and I both make sense of what it is that's going on. The panic
at 97%,
All right, here
and
we
the
go.
business type being 3%. And you see a breakdown of your revenue and expenditures by percentage on page 9. And you see the reason we talk so much about property taxes at 60% of your general fund revenue. General government being the largest expenditure, along with cultural and recreation and public safety. Again, from our independent audit standpoint, what you're really looking to us for is an opinion on the financial statements that includes financial and compliance, and we were good with both of those. So I would again say congratulations to everybody on that. Unfortunately, we don't issue a whole lot of financial statements that don't have a finding or comment somewhere. So good job for everybody here. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions, not just tonight and here, but anytime you got a question, please feel free to give me a call. If I happen not to be in the office, ask for my cell number. I'll get you an answer to your question. And again, thank you for allowing us to do the audit.
I have one other question, Mr. Chairman. Alan, I'm not sure if you can answer this. I didn't see any of the numbers, but we're showing a revenue increase of about 20.07 or 20.7%. 23 versus 24 for the fiscal year. What is the norm that you see for counties of our size, percentage wise? That's pretty big. We've never experienced anything like that in quite a while. Not since my tenure being here anyway.
Again, normal gets hard to define there. I would say, like for Berkeley, that's probably very similar. We also do a county right across the state line in North Carolina, Brunswick, and that's probably right in line with their growth rate as well. A lot of people are loving the coast in our two states. So it's creating some significant revenue increases.
Thank you.
Are there any further comments or questions from Mr. Allen? Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. All your hard work. Ms. Langston, thank you, and your department and everyone in Georgetown County for everything they do. You guys did a fantastic job, and we appreciate it. We'll move on now to public comment section. A public comment period is included on each meeting agenda and shall be limited to 30 minutes. Each speaker will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. No speaker may yield his or her allotted time to another speaker. Members of the public who wish to address council during the public input period should sign up with the clerk of council before the meeting is called to order. Are there any speakers, Ms. Alma?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have 12 speakers signed up tonight, and as you stated, each will have 3 minutes. Our first speaker is Reverend Justin Gamble.
Mr. Chairman, and to this board, it gives me interesting opportunity to have this privilege to stand before you to speak on a very interesting subject concerning a parcel of land there in the Browns Ferry community. I made sure to highlight that word community because that's what it is, a community. Community of people who have worked tirelessly to build what they have, sacrificed so much so that they can enjoy the life that they have now. Today, I'm disturbed because we're having a discussion about essentially almost destroying the community.
There is no discussion.
I'm interested in this conversation because the community is built upon family. And as you can see, family is well represented in this room tonight. Family has came out, sacrifice of their time, because there's just
Too little, too
an
late, sir.
interesting way to say.
I'm just going to
that
be
what's being
blunt and
proposed
say
is
it.
something we
Too
just
little,
don't agree
too
with.
late.
As you know, Browns Ferry is a beautiful community, and I understand change is something we all must become accustomed to. But when this particular change has the tendency, the urgency to maybe destroy a community, destroy a family, then we have some problems. We have something that we need to say. And so I ask of this particular board that you would really meditate on this decision that you have before you.
He don't
We're
understand
not
how it
against-
works.
We're not against business opportunities. We're not against change. We're not against growth.
You're not stopping
I'm
it.
just saying-
That's what's going on right now, sir.
Our backyard isn't the playground for that.
Yes, it is. The river
We
is
have
over there. What are you
people in our
talking about?
community who are dealing with illnesses.
And I don't mean no
who
disrespect, but I'm
need
just going to be
comfort,
straight up
need
right here.
care. We have people who have children where traffic is already high. Now that could cause traffic to grow even more. And so I ask of you to please, 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 please understand where we are coming from when it comes to our community.
You
That's
got to
built
be
upon the
coming to
foundation
meetings
of the
earlier.
family. Thank you so much.
You got to be coming to meetings earlier. You got to be coming to these. This is the second reading, sir. This is like the wake. You coming to view the body.
Reverend Michael Burgess.
Where were you guys in the beginning? Where were you in the beginning?
Let me say first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity to allow me to speak to this body, to the councilman and councilwoman of this Georgetown County. Don't want to be redundant about what Pastor Gamble said, but I wanted to let it be known that we are here for the people of the community. We do understand and we appreciate the potential for economic growth, but we are just totally against what is trying to be put in that community. I don't know if many of you traveled Highway 51. It is a narrow road. It has been so many accidents on Highway 51. And by allowing this to take place in the community, it's just gonna make it even more congested. I want you all to be prayerful about the decision that you're going to make about this. Consider what is at hand, the lives of the people and the traffic that's going to be coming to and fro in that area. We want you to know that we will support something else, but not this project. So we ask that you please consider looking at something else. Thank you so very much.
Okay, sir. This is the second reading. They're not looking at nothing else. They're going to move forward with this. You should have been there in the
Reverend Harry
beginning.
Lee.
And I appreciate all the preachers coming out, but you guys got to be much, much earlier in this process. And when people are telling you stuff, you got to be taking it in. You got to be listening to stay
Good afternoon,
informed.
board.
Lack of
Thank you
knowledge.
For this opportunity to come and speak before you with this issue. The gentleman that's proposing, he's a businessman. And there's nothing wrong wanting to establish a business in a particular area. There's nothing wrong with that. But I come to you tonight, board women, board chairman, and as the business owner that's proposing, I come to you tonight on the basis of humanity. There's nothing wrong with moving into a neighborhood, and I move into your neighborhood and I become disrespectful to the ordinance or the rules of the neighborhood and begin to create interruptions. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to look for some way how to enforce what's already been instated. Because respect goes a long way. And I'm sure the gentleman, the fact that he's a business person means he's a reasonable person. And that's good. In order to stay in business, you have to be reasonable. But I come to you tonight on the predication of respect.
Is it not reasonable for a business person to position their family for what's coming down the pipe? You got a state park being built on. I mean, right now, this is annoying, man.
When you to pretend to propose to move into a neighborhood and the community comes out in disagreement, that is letting you know how they feel about where you're coming into.
They're not there when it's supposed
Now,
to
to
be.
drive on and to push on and to override their outpour of saying we don't, to me, that falls into very disrespectful. Because after all, he tends or you tend to move into that neighborhood. And as anybody moving to anybody's neighborhoods, you want to be welcomed and you want to be accepted. But when the people in the community voice their opinion, said, we just don't want to be accepted to that, to override anything that they want is very disrespectful.
Listening to him,
And after all, you're moving into a community.
listening to him
If nothing else, as a business person,
lets me
you want to be
know how
able to
a lot of people think
you don't want
it
to
should
be
work
working
because
against
a lot of people
them.
show up.
There you
It's the
are.
timing. It is the timing of when you're showing up.
We want to help you of what's going on. So all I ask tonight is to
You know,
a level of humanity, to respect.
these preachers, this group of preachers, y'all should have been in on some of these meetings when they was planning this thing, so you could know what's coming in. This is like an eminent domain type situation, and if you don't know what eminent domain is, please look it up, because this is gonna happen. It's just where these people's descendants are going, how it's going to play out for them. And it all depends on how these people position themselves right now while this is going on. And this is not a good start.
Good afternoon. County Council Chair, Mr. Elliott, Vice Chair, Ms. McCardle, what pronounce your name right?
They've, excuse me, they should have been there when Lambertown was in there with their pleas. The people in Paulie's with their
Try
pleas.
to do the right thing. One of the right things we're trying to do is keep our village a village, because that's what it is. Keep our village what it's been designed to be, VR10 residential. Here you're asking to put a resort commercial district in the middle of a village residential area. That's not right. Like the pastor said, we've been here 7 times, we've attended 7 meetings with this. Twice, the planning commission has denied it. Once it was 4-1 denied. Second one was 5-0 denied. We feel we want to accept the recommendation of the planning commission. Like I said, this is the community. We're here because we care. We're here, why? Because we've got to live with whatever comes there. No respect to Mr. Thomas, but he comes and goes. Sit down now. We have to stay. We have to deal with this on a daily basis. Don't make us suffer for someone else's mistake. If this request is approved, Pandora's box will be open. What's coming next? We have no idea. We have no say so. All of the business that's there right now fell within the VR10 residential code. The business that Mr. Thomas bought, that was a VR10 business. All other businesses, everyone fell within the rules and regulations that was there. And all we're asking you to do is keep it that way. The business that was there was obviously was not sold for a long time. And the reason why is because I'm sure whoever went to take a look at that building, what did they see? They saw it was this restriction, VR10, so they moved on. The records will show Mr. Thomas unknowingly purchased the business, not knowing what it was entailed. Is that our fault? It's not our fault he didn't do his homework. That's not us. Why make us have to deal and suffer with that because someone else was wrong? That's not fair. Resort Commercial District is a designated area within the community, typically near tourist attractions, mountains, where zoning laws is a mixed commercial business primary focus. Tourist attraction. Browns Ferry is not a tourist attraction.
He is
Farmers.
slow.
We have other folks who live there. Senior
I'm
citizens.
sorry, sir.
That's not tourist.
Again, this is what misinformation does. You're looking at your place as a farm, and the people why you're there, those people are looking at your place as a resort because of the river. This is
All we're asking you to do, please, keep our business, keep our residential area the same. City questions for me.
no, that's not how that's not how that works. Good round of applause.
Andy Roberts.
Same thing happened with Lambertown when they was in there talking about the
Good evening. My name's Andy Roberts. I'm a 44-year resident of the Browns Ferry community.
when they was talking about the Lambertown solar farms.
Is wanting to repurpose as a boating supply and repair shop. In the community, there's an ice cream shop, a convenience store, a liquor store, Browns Ferry Elementary School, Dollar General. They're all within a quarter mile of each other. You can stand in the road and look and see them all. This business will benefit not only Browns Ferry community, but the entire Georgetown and neighboring counties, with the boaters going to and from Browns Ferry boat landing. The steel mill's closed. The International Paper recently closed with a loss of 750 jobs in county. I'd like to think the county council would approve Mr. Thomas's request, resulting in employees being hired, taxes paid, insurance, and et cetera, that you need running a business. Thank you.
Dan Stacy.
Good evening. I'll be the fastest. I'm here for third reading item 6B. If you have questions after Holly gives her presentation. Thank you.
So again, guys, we're listening to the county council meeting. This is Thursday, January 28th, and let's see what else she's talking about.
And am a school teacher and was a school teacher for 21 years. And I'm in real estate, and my brokerage did call the county to find out if Lee Thomas could change this piece of property to commercial, and we were told yes. And unfortunately, the person that has told us has currently lost his job with the county. But we did do our due diligence, and we did call. That is absolutely true. And with this area being surrounded by rivers and coastal areas, and just what I've seen.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's exactly what I'm talking about. This man is sitting there saying Browns Ferry, and like because he has whatever image of Browns Ferry, it's a bigger world around you, and you got to know what's going on right inside your county. And one thing that is going on, the big thing, again, ask Ray Funny, ask what's your councilman over there that know what's the councilman name over there, Morant. Ask Morant how long this has been going on, how long this has been in planning, and how the work on Brick Chimney Road what does that do to bring traffic to that area? The lady just said it. It's the river. But because the local officials haven't properly educated the Black people in that area on what is really going on, we're going to miss out economically.
in the public school system with children needing to learn, being more on boats, needing to learn the safety and everything else. I think that this business will help with the local community with jobs, bringing diverse services and different, materials, companies coming together, which strengthen the communities, bringing communities together, working together, creating jobs. He's already made multiple improvements. And I just feel like it's a very positive way to bring us together rather than separate us. There's enough separation going on. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for people to grow and be supportive of one another.
Stephen Hill.
Again, guys, be sure and tune in tonight where to.
Good evening, Council. Thank you again for allowing me the moment to speak on behalf of Mr. Thomas. My opinion may not be very popular this evening because I'm an outsider. But however, I am a retired military veteran. I served in the military in the Army for 25 years, recently retired and still now currently work at the United States Postal Service. And that is where I met Mr. Thomas almost 2 years ago and a friend of his, Jerry, almost 5 years ago. And having traveled extensively in the military, I simply say this, and I too, also, I pastor a church in Green Sea, South Carolina. I simply say this, as a young man growing up, I was raised with about two principles: treat everybody with respect, treat everybody the way you want to be treated, and don't judge anybody until you know them. I believe Mr. Thomas is a great young man, and if you get to know him, given the opportunity, he may prove some of your thoughts differently. I just ask the council to give him a fair chance. Don't judge him until you know him, and he may be a benefit to this community. Thank you for your time.
Brett.
You would not think that this would be a dividing topic.
Thank you. My name is Brett Salmon. I've been a local here for many years. I've known Lee for about 10 to 15 years. He's a great man, a good family man. He has the opportunity to open a shop that will better the people of the surrounding areas. In any business that is acquired to help the people to do a better product, it's great for the community.
I mean, this all falls in line
sit
with
there
the
and
realigning of the boating laws, and I've been sitting here for all of that stuff listening, and it's funny. I mean, it's not funny in a funny way. It's funny in how late we are to the party a lot of times, and how misinformed we are because we refuse to read.
I can't imagine that this be denied to have such a great person in this area to help the economy.
Let me guess, the
Thank you.
vote's going to be 5-2.
Clarissa Tolbert.
5-2.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak, but if you don't mind, these are the people I'd like to speak to. I moved next door to his business 2 years ago. Didn't have any idea what I was in for, but I moved in. The Thomas family is very nice. They're very respectful, great people. And I'm
Ms.
not-
Tolbert.
I'm right next
Ms.
door.
Tolbert, please address the council.
Okay, all right. Well, I've lived next door to them for 2 years. I've not had any problem with any of the traffic. I've not had a problem with the noise or anything. They're great people. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Lee Thomas.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak for you. We are a family-owned business. we want to rezone the property from VR10 to resort commercial. We previously come before you to change it to general commercial. We withdrew that because that would be harmful for the community. With changing it to resort commercial would be more beneficial to the community. With opening this business here, we want to support the community, support other local businesses, churches, sponsor events and functions for students
The lady in the back shaking her head no.
and schools. As far as our property, we don't plan to build infrastructures or anything. We want to use the property as it is. Just cut the grass, make it presentable, keep it presentable. In fact, since we've owned the business, we contacted DOT. They cleaned out the ditch that was overgrown in front of us. We currently have it looking a lot nicer than it was. You know, our business won't impact the infrastructure that's there. It won't impede on the traffic. We don't impede on the traffic now. Upon starting this whole process, I mean, we've spoke to a lot of locals around the area, as far as next door, right beside them, beside others, even reached out on further out. There's a lot of people that are in support of this business. There's others that are not in support of it, but we want to encourage them to come and get to know us. If they come and get to know us, they'll find out we're different than what they think we are. We appreciate your time, and I'll be here for any questions that y'all may have regarding the property or anything.
Sophie Jackson.
It's Sophia Jackson. Thank you, lady and gentlemen of the board. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. I'm a member of or resident of the Ola community, and I think I speak for myself as well as all of the residents of the greater Brown Ferry community when I say that this subject that we're dealing with, this isn't an issue of your personal character. We're not here to judge who you are as a person. But what we're here to do is to put the facts on the table in regards to how this will impact our community as a whole. It's not us saying we don't want you there because we don't want your presence there. We are saying that we don't want any changes to us that's going to cause us to be at demise in the end. The great philosopher, George Santayana, said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. And with that being said, let us look to the many instances of those who have had their land proverbially taken away from them from these same types of business endeavors. Okay, so for you, it's a business endeavor.
Not true. What
For
she's
us,
saying is
it's a
that's not a
legacy.
true statement.
For us, it means impeding on our history. For us, it means you are changing someone who is not a part of us. If it's going to be changed, it's going to be changed because we want to change it.
Okay, sit
And I
there,
know
keep
people don't
thinking
want
that.
to say that, but that's what we are.
Well, you can sit and believe that if you want.
Most of the property that is in the Browns Ferry area is heirs property. There are families worked hard for. Some of them, I'm learning over the weekend, even died for. So that's not something that we're willing to relinquish without a fight. So again, we want you to understand that it's not a personal vendetta that we have against you, but it is us protecting our legacy and protecting what we have to hold on to for the generations to come. Thank you.
That was our final speaker.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who spoke.
All right,
on
and that's
behalf
basically
of
what I
each
wanted to
other.
cover.
And we'll move on down to the third reading of ordinances. Ordinance number 24-56 to rezone one parcel totaling approximately 1.2 acres located on 11732 Gapway Road at the intersection of Puncheon Creek Drive, TMS number 02-0416.
Again,
003-00-00.
listen,
Forest Agriculture.
how gangster he is right now, not him, but how gangster this council is and how out of touch this council is. And again, we can go and do great speeches up there. A lot of people have done it. But it doesn't move the needle when, because what this guy is going into right now is some more property tied to the Black River Project again. And I'm gonna let that play because I didn't even know that was coming up. I didn't get a chance to look at the agenda, which I will go back and look at the agenda. But yeah, man, that right there is that's unfortunate. That's some unfortunate stuff. Again, you can go watch this for yourself on YouTube, Georgetown County page. And again, make sure you tune in tonight, Real Talk Tuesday. Gonna have a real lively conversation tonight. We'll cover some of this topic right here about the situation going over in Oakland, and then we'll definitely do a deep dive into this freeze on federal spending by the president. And again, we're gonna get some people that are inside the DC political machine that's gonna come on and offer some real professional analysis or insight to what it is we're going on, so that we can calm down some of the rhetoric and the misinformation, so people can function. Because no matter what happens, you still got to function, period. And so that's where I am with that. And I'll see you guys back here at 8:30. If you aren't, you need to start following Nate.